I want to tell you something that I am still a little embarrassed about.
Go ahead.
For 3 years, I studied English seriously. Textbooks, courses, vocabulary lists, grammar exercises. 3 full years of real effort.
And
I could not hold a comfortable conversation, not a real one, the kind where you are actually present listening, responding, moving naturally from one thing to the next instead of desperately searching for the next word while the other person waits.
3 years. And still not there.
3 years. And the worst part was I did not understand why. I was doing everything right. I was putting in the time, and something was still missing.
And then 5 minutes a day changed everything.
5 minutes. And I mean that exactly. Not an hour, not 30 minutes, 5 specific minutes every single morning. And within 8 weeks, something shifted in a way that 3 years of serious study had not managed.
Write yes in the comments right now if you have studied English seriously, really invested in it, and still feel stuck when a real conversation happens. Just the word yes. That is all.
Because today, we are talking about what those 5 minutes were, why they worked when everything else did not, and how you can start them tomorrow morning.
Not someday. Tomorrow morning.
I'm Emma.
I'm Max. This is Real Life English, the podcast. Let's go.
Okay, let us start with the honest truth that most English courses will never tell you.
What is that?
Studying English and speaking English are 2 completely different skills, and most people spend almost all their time on one and almost none on the other.
Which one do they skip?
The speaking. Always the speaking, because it is the uncomfortable one, the exposed one, the one where mistakes are visible and immediate.
Reading is safe. Listening is safe. Even writing is safe. You can edit before anyone sees it.
But speaking is live, real time, no editing. Whatever comes out is what they hear.
And most learners avoid that feeling. Completely reasonably. It is uncomfortable.
So they stay in the safe zone. And the safe zone builds their understanding, their recognition, their ability to read and listen and follow.
But not their ability to produce.
Produce means to create language yourself. Speaking and writing are production. Listening and reading are reception.
And producing English under pressure in real time, with a real person waiting, uses a completely different set of skills than receiving it.
Because speaking is not just mental. It is physical. Your mouth, your tongue, your breath, these are muscles. And muscles need practice. Repetitive physical practice.
And you cannot train a muscle by reading about it.
You cannot. You can understand swimming perfectly, know every stroke, every technique, and still not be able to swim. Because your muscles have never done it.
And that is exactly where most English learners are.
They understand English perfectly. They have read about it, studied it, and their speaking muscles have never really practiced.
So the problem was never intelligence, never talent, never the wrong course.
It was always the same problem. The speaking muscle had not been trained.
And 5 minutes a day of the right practice begins to train it.
Every single day. Even small, even imperfect. The muscle is being used. The pathway is being built.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You understood everything the other person said. And when it was your turn to speak, silence or something came out that was not what you meant. Not what you knew.
The understanding was there. The muscle was not ready.
That is not failure. That is a specific training gap. And specific gaps can be specifically fixed. Okay, I need you to be specific here. Because vague advice is useless advice.
Agreed. So every morning, before my phone, before coffee if I could manage it, I sat somewhere quiet.
And
And I talked, out loud, to no one, in English,
just talked.
just talked. About whatever was true in that exact moment. I am tired this morning. I did not sleep well. I have a meeting today that I am nervous about. The light in this room is nice today. Whatever was real, whatever was there.
And you did not prepare it.
Never. That was the rule. No preparation, no notes, no textbook, just me and whatever English I had available in that moment.
And what happened when the words were not there?
This is the important part. When the words were not there, I kept going with whatever was available. I used a simpler word. I described around the word I did not have. I paused for 2 seconds and found something close enough. And I kept moving.
You did not stop.
I never stopped. Because stopping to search for the perfect word is exactly what happens in real conversations when they fall apart. You pause too long. The moment passes. The other person feels awkward. The confidence drops.
So you practiced keeping going even through the imperfect parts.
I trained my brain to keep moving through discomfort, to not treat every missing word as a reason to shut down.
And after 8 weeks?
Something I genuinely had not expected. The words started arriving faster, not because I had learned more vocabulary I was not studying at the same time, but because the retrieval means finding and bringing back from memory the retrieval had become faster, more automatic, more practiced.
The pathway had been walked enough times to be clear.
Clear and fast. And in the next real English conversation I had, I noticed something different. A kind of space, a kind of room to actually think while I was speaking, instead of panic.
Because the mechanics were more automatic.
And when the mechanics are more automatic, the content what you actually want to say has space to arrive.
5 minutes a day built that space.
8 weeks of 5 minutes. That is 280 minutes of speaking practice, less than 5 hours, but spread across every morning. Consistent, daily, never missed.
And those 5 hours changed what 3 years of study had not managed.
Because they were the right kind of practice. Consistent daily production, not occasional intense study.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You spoke English once, maybe on a trip, maybe with someone who surprised you. And for a while, things flowed. Words came. You were actually there.
And then it stopped, and you could not recreate it.
Because it needed daily maintenance, like a path that needs to be walked to stay clear.
Daily, even small. The path stays clear. Walk it every morning and it becomes a road.
I want to stay on this. Because I think it is the thing people resist the most. This idea that 5 minutes is enough.
Yes, because we live in a culture that says more is always better. Harder, longer, more intense.
And for language learning, that is almost entirely wrong.
Almost entirely, because language is not learned by the hour. It is learned by the repetition. Repetition means doing something again and again, not once, with great intensity. Again and again with regularity.
And daily repetition, even tiny daily repetition, builds pathways that occasional intense effort cannot.
Think of it this way. Imagine you water a plant. You could pour an enormous amount of water on it once a week, or you could give it a small amount every single day.
The daily watering wins.
Always. Because the roots need consistent contact with water to grow. Too much at once floods and then dries out. Regular small amounts build strong roots steadily.
And your English brain is the plant.
And daily 5-minute practice is the regular small watering. And the 3-hour weekend session is the flood and drought cycle.
I want to push back on one thing here.
Good. Push back.
I do not want people to hear this and use it as a ceiling. 5 minutes is enough, so I will only ever do 5 minutes.
That is a really important point. 5 minutes is the floor means the minimum, the lowest level you commit to absolutely, the thing that happens on every day, including the worst ones.
Not the ceiling.
Never the ceiling. On a good day, go 30 minutes. On a normal day, go 15. 5 minutes is the promise you make to yourself that you cannot negotiate away.
The floor that holds the habit alive on the hard days.
Because the hard days come. The motivated days do not always come. And the floor is what keeps the habit alive through all of them.
And an alive habit even small grows. Slowly. Consistently. Really.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You had a strong practice going, and then 1 week everything fell apart, and you missed 3 days, and somehow that became 2 weeks, and the thing you had built just stopped.
Because the floor was not set. There was no minimum that was non-negotiable.
If you had had a 5-minute floor, that week of chaos would have produced 5 minutes every day, and the habit would have survived, and everything you built would have been waiting for you when things calmed down.
Set the floor. Protect the floor. Everything above the floor is a bonus. Okay, what is the actual structure? Because 5 minutes of the wrong thing is 5 minutes wasted.
The structure is simple. 3 parts. Part 1. The start. 60 seconds. You say something true. Anything. The simplest sentence that is real. I am here. It is morning. I did not sleep well. Something came out wrong yesterday and I am still thinking about it.
And the purpose of that first 60 seconds is just to get started. To remove the blank page problem means the paralysis of not knowing how to begin. You make the first sentence so simple, it cannot fail. And then, the second sentence is easier. And the third easier still, because once you are moving, you tend to keep moving.
Momentum means the force of movement that builds on itself once it starts momentum is the most important thing in a 5-minute practice. Get it early. Protect it. Do not stop to correct.
Part 2. The 3-minute talk. You choose one topic from your real life. And you speak. Without stopping. Without correcting. Without looking anything up.
Imperfect sentences keep going. Missing words get worked around. Wrong grammar gets fixed in the next sentence. You never stop. You move forward.
Because the skill being trained is not perfect English. It is continuous English.
Fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about speaking continuously.
Say it again.
Fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about speaking continuously.
And that 3-minute continuous talk is where the real training happens. Every single day.
Part 3. The 1 minute close. You finish. And you notice one thing. One word you could not find. One sentence that came out wrong. One gap in your English that today's practice revealed.
And you look it up. Right then.
Right then. Because the gap was real. It was a genuine need in a genuine moment of speaking. And the brain prioritizes genuine needs.
It remembers them differently.
It remembers them permanently. A word you looked up because you genuinely needed it while speaking, you will not forget that word.
Versus a word you studied from a list because it appeared in Lesson 7.
Gone by next week.
One gap. Found Syed 3 times. Done.
60 seconds start. 3 minutes continuous talk. 1 minute close. 5 minutes. Every morning, the same structure, the same commitment, different content every day.
And after 8 weeks?
The conversation you could not have before starts to become possible. Not perfect. Possible. And possible is everything. And the question everyone asks, what do I talk about?
Because sitting down to speak to no one in English about nothing feels impossible.
So here are 10 topics, one for each day of 2 weeks, and each one can be repeated because what you say changes as you change.
Topic 1. Describe your morning from the moment you woke up until right now. Exactly as it happened. No embellishment, just the true sequence.
Topic 2. Something you are genuinely looking forward to. And something you are genuinely not looking forward to. Both honest.
Topic 3. A place that matters to you. What it looks like. Why it matters. One specific moment you remember having there.
Topic 4. Describe yourself honestly, not the polished version you give to new people, the real one.
Topic 5. A decision you made recently that you are not completely sure about. What you chose. Why? What you are still wondering.
Topic 6. Something you have changed your mind about. What you used to believe. What happened. What you think now.
Topic 7. Someone in your life right now. What they are like. What they mean to you. What you would want them to know.
Topic 8. Your relationship with English. How it started. What it has been like. Where you want it to take you.
Topic 9. Something small that made you feel something this week. Not a big event. A small moment. A conversation. A view. A smell. Something that landed.
Topic 10. What you would tell yourself 1 year ago. If you could sit down with that person for 5 minutes, what you would say.
10 topics. 2 weeks. And every topic can be revisited because you are different every time you return to it.
And notice something about these topics. They are all real, all personal, all requiring you to actually think and feel and find the words for something true.
Not invented scenarios, not textbook dialogues, your actual life in English.
And that is what makes the practice real. And what makes the progress real.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You tried to practice speaking and ran out of things to say almost immediately. And you thought, see, my English is too limited. I cannot even practice.
That was never the problem. The problem was not having a specific real thing to say. Now you have 10.
And a specific real thing to say turns a blank morning into a full 5 minutes faster than you expect.
Word tour time. Today's vocabulary. 1 word, 1 example, 1 line to remember.
First physical skill. Something your body has to learn to do through repeated physical practice, not just mental understanding. Example 1. She understood swimming theory perfectly, but could not swim because swimming is a physical skill that requires the body to practice, not just the mind to understand. Example 2. Speaking English fluently is a physical skill. Your mouth needs daily repetition, just as much as your brain needs daily input. Remember this, your brain can understand English. Only your mouth can speak it. Train the mouth.
Next, produce. To create language yourself, speaking and writing are production. Receiving someone else's language is not. Example 1. She had consumed thousands of hours of English, but had produced very little, and her speaking reflected that imbalance. Example 2. Fluency requires production. You can receive English forever without producing it and still freeze when it is your turn. Remember, this input fills the tank. Output teaches you to drive.
Retrieval. The active process of finding and bringing back something from memory. Made faster by repeated practice. Example 1. Every time she retrieved a word in real speaking under the slight pressure of needing it, the retrieval became faster and more automatic. Example 2. Retrieval practice is the most effective learning method that exists. Use what you know, immediately, in real sentences. Remember this, the word you used once in real speaking is yours. The word you read 20 times on a list may not be.
Floor. The minimum. The lowest level you commit to completely. The habit on its worst day. Example 1. 5 minutes was her floor unbreakable. Non-negotiable and above the floor, she went as high as the day allowed. Example 2. Without a floor, a habit dies on bad days. With a floor, it survives everything. Remember this, set your floor. Never negotiate with it. The floor is what keeps the habit alive when everything else is hard.
Momentum. The force of movement that builds on itself once it starts. Easier to maintain than to restart. Example 1. The first sentence was always the hardest. After that, momentum took over, and 5 minutes often became 15. Example 2. Momentum in language practice means once you start speaking, continuing becomes easier. The hard part is always starting. Remember this, start with the easiest possible first sentence. Get the momentum, then write it.
Blank page problem. The paralysis that comes from not knowing how to begin. Example 1. She solved the blank page problem by always starting with the same sentence, I am here. It is morning, and letting everything else follow. Example 2. The blank page problem disappears the moment you say anything. Anything at all. Start. Remember this, the first sentence does not have to be good. It just has to exist. Say something. The rest follows.
Consistency. Doing something regularly, without large gaps. Not perfectly, just regularly, without missing. Example 1. 280 minutes spread across 56 consecutive mornings changed more than years of inconsistent effort. Example 2. The brain needs consistent contact with a language to build and maintain the pathways that produce fluency. Remember this, daily small beats, weekly large. Every time. This is not motivational. It is neuroscience.
Acquisition. Genuinely gaining something, making it truly part of you, not just knowing about it. Example 1. She had studied English for years, but had not yet acquired it. It lived in her notes, not in her mouth. Example 2. Acquisition requires production. Use it in real moments. That is when it becomes yours. Remember, this knowledge of English lives in your notes. Acquired English lives in your mouth.
Specific training gap. A precise identifiable deficit in one skill that does not affect other related skills. Example 1. His speaking gap was specific strong understanding. Underdeveloped production and specific gaps respond to specific practice. Example 2. Understanding your specific training gap is the beginning of fixing it. Remember this, you are not bad at English. You have a specific gap. Specific gaps have specific solutions.
And our last word, non-negotiable. Not up for discussion. Not subject to circumstances. Required on every day without exception. Example 1, she made 5 minutes non-negotiable, not because she never wanted to skip, but because the habit was more important than the feeling. Example 2, non-negotiable things happen. Optional things happen when conditions are perfect. Conditions are never perfect. Remember this. Make it non-negotiable. Then stop deciding. Just do it. Every morning. 5 minutes.
Now it is your turn. Right now. In this moment.
Here is your sentence template for today. Fill in the blanks. Say it out loud. Your real situation. Your real numbers.
Here it is.
I have been studying English for... And the thing that has been missing from my practice is... Starting tomorrow morning, I am going to talk out loud in English for minutes. The topic I am going to start with is... And on the days when everything goes wrong, the floor I am committing to is... minutes. Always.
Say it now. Out loud. Every blank filled with something real.
Pause. Say it. And your comment challenge. Write this in English in the comments.
I have been studying English for... My specific gap is... Starting tomorrow, my floor is... Minutes every morning.
Write it. Right now. Public commitment. Real words. Your actual situation.
Because a commitment made in English, however imperfect the English, is already practice. And we read every single one.
We are at the end. And I want to leave you with one thing.
Go ahead.
5 minutes does not sound like much. And that is exactly why it works.
Say it again.
5 minutes does not sound like much, and that is exactly why it works.
Because 5 minutes happens every day, in a way that 3 hours never does.
And 56 consecutive mornings of 5 minutes is 280 minutes of real speaking practice. Built from nothing. From the 5 quiet minutes before the world came in.
And those 280 minutes spread across every morning, consistent, never missed, will change your English in ways that years of studying never managed.
Not because they are more, because they are consistent, because they are production, because they are real.
Tomorrow morning, before your phone, before coffee, before the world comes in.
Just talk in English. For 5 minutes. About anything that is true.
And come back the next morning. And do it again.
Your comment homework, write your floor in the comments. Your non-negotiable daily minimum. In English. Right now.
And share this episode with one person who has been studying English for a long time and still feels stuck. They need to hear exactly this.
Thank you for being here. I'm Emma.
And I'm Max. 5 minutes. Tomorrow morning. And we will see you in the very next episode.
Bye for now.
See you in next episode. Bye.